Today, we're diving straight into the blueprints of the world's most perfectly designed mega city, Tokyo, Japan. We're going to unpack their transit masterpiece literally piece by piece and discover exactly how they pull off the impossible. Now, we're skipping the standard agenda today because I really want to hit you with a massive question right out of the gate. How do you move 37 million people every single day without the entire city just collapsing? I mean, it's a logistical nightmare that would bring pretty much any other global city to a grinding, gridlocked halt. Yet somehow, Tokyo does it seamlessly. It's an urban design that is completely unmatched. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the busiest hub on Earth. Inside Shinjuku Station. 3.6 million. That is the staggering volume of daily commuters navigating this single station's 5 main levels. To truly wrap your head around Tokyo's infrastructure, you have to picture this massive structure stretching an entire kilometer right through the district, just funneling millions of people out to sister districts like Shibuya and Minato. Just think about that sheer volume of human movement happening in one facility every single day. And it gets even crazier. Across 20 different platforms, commuters have their pick of 5 different railway companies. And get this, all of these trains are arriving and departing simultaneously. It is an absolute masterclass in orchestration, precision, and honestly, handling complete chaos. To top off Shinjuku's sheer scale, if you need to travel longer distances, you definitely aren't left out. This single terminal hosts an unbelievable 1,600 long-distance bus lines connecting commuters to the rest of Tokyo and Greater Japan. And the wildest part? This brilliant formula is repeated throughout the entire megacity in dozens of different districts. Section 2, a nation within a city, scaling up to 37 million. So, Tokyo is the biggest megacity in the world, literally 50% larger than any other urban setting on the planet. And they provide alternative means for absolutely everyone to get around. Despite having, admittedly, kind of imperfect biking infrastructure, people make it work seamlessly, claiming 14% of all transit. Walking and other methods make up a solid 29%, but the heavy lifting, that's handled by public transit, sitting at a massive 57%. Now, for comparison, New York City actually boasts about 58% public transit usage, but that is exactly where the similarities end. As you'll see, bigger doesn't always mean better. While the New York subway sprawls across 468 stations, Tokyo's system is shockingly smaller in footprint, yet it vastly outperforms in annual passenger frequency and overall efficiency. Of course, pulling off this level of efficiency requires deep, continual commitment. $200 billion. That was the insane annual budget for Japanese public construction spanning from 2013 to 2023. To put that into perspective, that is 40% of their entire GDP, acting as this incredibly powerful engine behind this brilliantly built city. Moving on to Section 3, the post-war transit gamble, rebuilding without oil. You see, Tokyo didn't just wake up one day with a perfect transit network and a massive budget. It was born out of absolute necessity. At the end of World War II, the nation desperately needed rebuilding, but they hit a massive resource deficit. Japan had basically no access to oil reserves. So, unlike the United States, which experienced this massive auto boom thanks to plentiful oil and sprawling highway systems, Japan was forced to make a strategic pivot. The government, working hand in hand with private companies, bet everything on investing in railway lines to connect the suburbs to the city center. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the direct result of that post-war gamble today. Because of that massive, laser-focused investment in rail, the car was just left completely in the dust. Tokyo sits at a shockingly low 0.56 cars per household for a developed urban area. Compare that to a U.S. city like Chicago, which is exactly double that at 1.12. Betting heavily on public transport was a massive risk, but it absolutely paid off. Which brings us to Section 4, designing against the car, making driving unattractive. Because Tokyo's success is actively tied to making car and taxi use as deliberately frustrating as possible. $120. That is the financial penalty you pay just to use the roads. The winding, overlapping Shudo Expressway mimics U.S. interstates. But if you want to travel greater distances, well, it requires an expressway pass. For specific areas over just a 1 to 2 week period, that pass could run you up to 14,000 yen or $120. Combine that with nightmarish traffic comparable to LA's infamous congestion, and it's basically a financial war waged to ensure public transit has absolutely zero competition. But transit doesn't just win by punishing cars. It is objectively the superior option for travelers. First off, vehicles run on a strict minute-by-minute time crunch, so you're never left guessing. Second, they move 1.5 times faster than cars, completely bypassing those speed restrictions and unpredictable roadblocks. And third, the sheer brilliance of the Posmo card. Before the 2000s, people waited in huge, endless ticket lines for different railway companies. The Posmo card uniquely unified all company payments into one simple tap, completely killing those old ticket lines and bridging everything together perfectly. Section 5. The secret to perfection. How it never breaks down. So the crucial point here is that if you look at trains in Chicago or New York, they actually look a lot like Tokyo's. So what's the real secret? Well, it might seem like alien technology, but it's really just extreme coordinated common sense. The foundational secret is mandatory nightly inspections. Most Tokyo stations, even a massive hub like Shinjuku, are completely empty through the night, and they use this window perfectly. Every single night, workers inspect the subway tunnels and tracks. Minor damages are fixed immediately on the spot, major ones are reported, and alternative routes are planned long before the morning commuters ever even wake up.
But they go even further than that with this highly satisfying teardown cycle that happens every 4 years. Step 1, the train cars are completely stripped on by hand. Step 2, every single part is individually tested for malfunction. Step 3, everything is thoroughly cleaned. And Step 4, the cars are carefully reassembled. This massive, coordinated effort means unforeseen damages that cause downtime are virtually non-existent.
The final, stunning result of all that obsessive care is best seen in a 713-kilometer race. A commuter can board Tokyo's bullet train, the Shinkansen, traveling at a maximum speed of 320 kilometers per hour, and arrive at Shin Aomori Station in northern Japan in just 3 hours and 20 minutes. Compare that to the fastest train in the United States, Amtrak's Acela. Covering the exact same distance from Boston to Washington takes a grueling, patience-testing 7 hours. It completely crushes the competition. We've seen the staggering data, the forced historical pivot, and the obsessive maintenance that makes Tokyo's masterpiece possible. While it might look chaotic from the outside, everything is thought out down to the smallest possible detail. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If a city of 37 million people can coordinate its transit down to the precise minute without relying on cars, what is really holding your city back? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning the world around you, and I'll catch you next time.